Yes, YouTube, I'm back to another video and thanks for joining me. So on this channel, you guys have to listen to me rambling on about nonsense and getting up to all sorts in this room. So I thought it'd be a refreshing change today to turn the tables and make this a little bit more about you. So in my YouTube feed earlier on this week, I asked you guys to submit some of your enclosures, paludariums, aquascapes, or whatever you felt you wanted to show off, and we'll feature them in today's video. So if you want to see what my subscribers are capable of in terms of their setups and builds, and don't go anywhere because we'll be checking them all out right after this. Okay, and welcome back. So, I'm a bit shiny. Yeah, I'm a bit shiny. It's really hot in here today. I haven't done anything in this room. I've literally just come up, set up the laptop, and I'm sweating already. The summer's here, the sun's out. I don't know if it's the same where you are, but it's been boiling this week. So, excuse me for the shininess. But, why don't we just crack on and get straight into this? So, like I said, I asked you for some of your setups to be sent in. Now, if you do have a setup or an animal or anything you want to show off, because I know a lot of you guys may want to show these things off, and I don't have many friends that like this sort of thing, so you guys are the first port of call. So if you want to show something off, and you can always send this to me anytime at johnsrainforestroom@gmail.com, and I'll leave the email address down in the description as well, and as soon as I get enough, I tend to make another one of these videos, so welcome to send it at any point. But enough of me rambling on about nonsense. Let's take a look at the first one. So I think this is a reptile enclosure for a crested gecko as far as I'm aware. So let's bring the picture up of the enclosure first. Okay, so there we have it. Are we recording? Yes, we're recording. So this enclosure is from David Allen, and he said, as promised, here's a picture of the finished build. Was worried about doing a foam background, but your videos really helped. Great, I'm glad I could help. Thanks for letting me know. And the enclosure is 40 by 40 by 80. I take it that's centimeters. There's a 15-watt jungle dawn and a shade dweller, as well as a halogen lamp, which sounds like a pretty decent setup, to be fair. Just need the photos to grow in, especially the one at the back around the cork. So let's take a proper look. So, to me, when I got sent this, I thought it was really nice straight off the bat, to be fair. I think there's, well, there's a uniformity to this, in the sense that there's the cork bark running all through it, and I think it ties in really nicely with the foam background, which is something, obviously, we've done. I really like the enclosure, actually. I wouldn't mind knowing what enclosure that was. It's quite a nice little tank, so let me know, David, if you can. But I can see you've got quite a small amount of plants, but I know you've sent some updates on this, but that'll grow in no time. The pothos at the bottom, I can see you may have some creeping fig under there as well as you've got some bromeliads, which I'm a fan of, which look really, really nice. Now, I know there's a couple of pictures on this elsewhere, so let me just double check. Okay, so David's also sent some other pictures along like I thought he had, which, oh, amazing. They've got the crested gecko actually in the enclosure. So you've got the little pots for food, which is the little holders, but he looks pretty happy in there, and he seems like quite a small crested gecko. So plenty of room to grow in as well. So that one's really lovely, and always nice to see the animals. And then we've just got a picture of the tank, again a little bit more grown in, so let's just check that out. Okay, looking really nice. Like I said, yeah, the pothos is definitely grown in. I can see you've added a peace lily in there as well. I can see, do they plastic plants trailing at the back? I'm not quite sure. But either way, it's looking really nice, definitely grown in a little bit. I think maybe just adding some greenery to the sides in some way, whether that's pinning some more broms to it, or maybe adding some creeping fig growing up the side. I think that'll look really cool. But I really like this enclosure, really, really, really nice. So, at the end of the video, it would be really good to hear your opinions as well, and let me know what your favourite enclosure is down in the comments below. Okay, so David also sent me a picture as well of his corn snake and a little bit of the enclosure. You can't see the enclosure too much, but you can see gone along a similar theme. It looks like plenty of branches to climb in, and you know the corn snake seemed very happy, so that's always a great start. If we got any more pictures of that later on, obviously I'll bring them up. But thanks for sending so much stuff in, David. Really nice to see your enclosures and your animals. So what have we got next? Okay, now this is from Christine Carignan, and I think she's actually sent some pictures to me about this in the past as well. So let's just take a quick look at the image itself. Okay, another really nice build actually, quite similar in style to perhaps Bert's a little bit, which great. I'm glad you well, maybe you haven't taken inspiration from me. There's me blowing my own trumpet. But obviously this is for a veiled chameleon. You can see the veiled chameleon at the top as well. There's lots of climbing opportunities, and there's a lovely lot of pothos in the bottom, and hopefully they'll start to climb up through the branches and give some more cover. It looks like you've got a sprayer on there, that may be the Miss King. Lighting, I can't tell too much, but it looks like you've got a few lighting fixtures as well as a heat dome on there, so that's looking good. Actually, if you commented in the email. So Christine said, sorry it took me so long to send this, my chameleon was in a very serious shed. This is a bioactive enclosure that I built myself, plus watching your videos really helped me recreate the background. Oh, there you go, great. Thanks, Christine, really appreciate that. Now, the reason I did say I found it similar to mine was just purely for the fact that I can tell, look at the foam, you've picked the top surface off, the shiny surface off, like I do, and then I have sore fingers for days. But I think that's how you've done it. Let me know in the comments, Christine, it'd be good to know, but it looks like that's what you've done. But the chameleon's under his basking spot. It looks like you've got everything set up really good there, and I really like it. Obviously a mesh enclosure as well with a mesh door. I don't know if this is a DIY enclosure, but really, really like it. So thanks for sending that in, Christine. Okay, so let's switch things up a little bit now. So Lenny J has sent in his aquarium or scape. So he's just put 3 weeks old, 45p, not the first aquarium, but the first time with a good carpet and not a single spot of algae so far. Amazing. So really, really good. Let's take a look at the setup. So we've got 2 pictures. Very nice. Obviously we've got the 45p up there, so I know they're a nice tank to scape. Looks like we're running CO2 on it. It looks like you've got nice levels. Looking at the pH checkers, a nice green color. Looks like you've got carpet of Monte Carlos. What have we got there? Hydrocart or maybe Japan. Looks really nice. I think you've got some Rotala green at the back, maybe. And some Lilipolensis or some dwarf hair grass amongst some of the rocks. And then you go the Rainicki Mini then, nice red plants looking really nice. I think it's Savor Stone you've used there with some spider wood or some grapevine wood. But really, really like this tank. It's nice that you've got some glass lily pipes on it. I take it you're probably going to get an intake one if you've got the outtake one at some point, but they are quite expensive, so don't blame you spreading that cost out. Looks like you've got a twin star lighting. I'm not quite sure which exact model that is, but it looks like a newer one because it's got a black top, which the older ones tend to have silver. But there is another picture, a bit more head on, which is nice, which I think really, really nice. It's sort of like a valley sort of scape. Obviously you're leading your eye down to the back of the tank. Now I don't know whether you were looking to get some more plants growing towards the back, because I think that would look really nice. It'd take the height of the tank up and it'd sort of lead your eye and fill out the tank a little bit as well. But I think this is a really, really nice scape. I'm glad you're pleased with it because the carpet's looking to grow in really, really nicely. I don't know whether you've started trimming this yet or anything like that, but off to a really good start. Really like that scape, really colourful, sort of nice design with the hardscape, but like I said, I think putting some height in the plants behind the rocks, the hardscape would just bring that to life even more than it is already, but a really, really nice scape. Okay, so we've got another one from Christine as well, so Christine Carignan. So she just simply turned the white blue reflex 15-gallon tank into an aqua terrarium. So why don't we take a look-see? Okay, so yeah, it looks like obviously a paludarium style scape. You've got a waterfall going through it with a betta fish, lovely. Some floating plants, some pothos doing really well there. Staple of this hobby, let's be fair, where would we be without pothos? But it looks like you've done an expanding foam background on it as well. Now normally, if there was nothing inhabiting the top part, I would normally say make use of our entire tank for that fish, but you seem to have made use of the space pretty well, to be fair. There's still quite a lot of swimming space for him. So it's just under half full, so we're probably looking about maybe about 7 to 6 gallons, which, you know, is plenty of space for that betta fish. And I think it looks really nice. I think you're doing a really good job on there, and it's something I have never seen before, a fluval flex into a paludarium. So you might be starting them in there, Christine, but really, really nice, lovely example of a betta fish as well, and always nice to see him not being kept with other betta fish. Nice one. Okay, so Christine sent another setup in. I think you've been busy the last couple of months, or definitely this year, Christine, making the most of lockdown. My latest project, this vivarium houses my 3 orange, name I'm not going to pronounce that, but basically poison dart frogs. So why don't we take a look at the setup? Okay, very nice. So it looks like an Exoterra 4560, I believe. We've had one of those in the past. Again, really nice cohesion with the materials you've used. I quite like that you're using different wood in this one, which I think is wood I never use. I've forgotten the name of it now. But again, some nice use of bromeliads in there. I think you've got a fern in one of the corners, and a nice little moss carpet, which looks like bun or cushion moss to me. You've also got a little coconut husk there, hide for the frogs themselves as well. And they're looking, again, a really nice setup. Really like that you've made use of the cork bark and turned them into planters. You know, I love doing that as well. And it looks like you've got a spray bar on there as well. Being dart frogs obviously needs, you know, pretty much 1000% humidity. But again, really, really nice. And what I like, which is one of the things I hate about Exoterras, and as you probably see on my fire bellies, I try and turn them around if I can, so you have a full viewing panel. But what I do like about this one is you'd have a nice view of the tank from the one side as well, and you've brought the substrate up to where the crossbar for the doors are, which disguises that broken up look. So really, really like that. But thanks for sending so many images, videos, and setups in, Christine. So that was your last one. Okay, so we've got another one from Lenny J. Some of you have been busy this year. And he simply put, setup pretty new, but figured out in case you do the video soon, I'll make sure you have it. Greetings from Austria. Thank you very much. But we've got another scape here. Now, I don't know whether this is the same 45p tank he's rescaped the one we saw earlier. I'm not quite sure, so if you want to let us know on that. But also, it looks like you've upgraded, if it is the same setup, you've upgraded the intake to a skimmer, a glass lead pipe, which you don't have to have, but obviously it just looks a little bit nicer. You've obviously got a glass outtake as well, and it looks like you've gone for a similar theme to your other one with a sort of central valley, but a bit more defined this time with the dragonstone I think you're using, leading up the path with the sand breaking that carpet up, which is really, really nice. And I quite like the branches running over the path as well. I think that's quite a nice touch. Looks like you use some sort of moss, which I think is Java moss, and I think you've used some hygrophila pinnated feeder. Using glossy stigma as the carpet plant on the bottom of here. Not quite sure, but I quite like this woody look. I like this, it looks quite rustic and quite natural. I think, again, it'd be nice to see some of those plants at the back start to grow in and take some of that height out the back a little bit, so it's not such a standalone scape, but it looks like you've got stem plants in the background and probably needs to grow in, and that looks like what you're trying to do. But if I'm wrong, tell me. But I would like to know is, what is that microphone-y thing sticking out the top? It looks like you've dropped the microphone in there, but I'm sure it's got a purpose. I'm sure it's some sort of filtration or something, but I'd just like to know. I'm nosy. Let me know. Okay, so we've got another chameleon enclosure to check out now, and this is coming from Adrian Fernandes, so thanks for sending those in. I think you're the first person to send off this recent post. And no, it's another Reptibreeze, XL Reptibreeze, which obviously is similar to, well, same as Bert's, but obviously done slightly different. And also you've got a nice variety of climbing perches and spots and plenty of place for the chameleon to explore. Can't see the chameleon in it at the moment. But it looks like you've got some water dishes. I don't know whether they'll drink from those, but there's never harm in adding them. But you also got some a sprayer on there as well, which is perfect. You can see you've got a couple of heat domes on there and potentially a dripper maybe at the top. I don't know whether this thing in the top right-hand corner is a fan, but if it is, great. I'd love to know where you've got that from. Looking into fans at the moment for my enclosures myself, so let me know if you can help me out. So it looks like plant-wise, we've got some pothos in the bottom. We've also got some sort of palm as well, which is great for them to climb all over. It looks like an umbrella plant at the bottom. And it looks like you've got some sort of ferns as well. But really like the enclosure. Looks like you've done it similar to when we set Bert's enclosure when we first moved into this room, where we added the clear sort of tarpaulin type plastic around the sides, which does the job amazingly. Obviously we've upgraded since, but that's only because I wanted to match it, the black sort of size to match the rest of the furniture with the room, and that's again down to personal preference, but great at holding humidity in. But I think there's another there's a picture of the chameleon. Oh, bless. Look at that. So small and tiny. But it looks like a baby female panther chameleon, I would have thought, unless it's that small it can't be sex, but usually those sort of colours are the females. But look how tiny. It's got such a lot of space in that enclosure for that tiny little chameleon as well. I bet they feel really, really lucky. So really appreciate you sending that in to me, Adrian. So thank you very much. But last but not least, one of my regular viewers, Tim, has sent in an update on one of his projects he's been working on. You may have seen this in my YouTube feed the other day where I shared his video of his new enclosure for his neon-line Dane geckos, which are amazing geckos, by the way. If I can get the video open. Okay, so we can see it looks like an Exoterra 45, 45, 45, like the Firebelly's size enclosure. Quite a unique sort of display, really. I haven't really seen those bamboo formed like that. It reminds me, I don't think it's Wabicusa, it's something similar where you use teacups in aquascaping or bowls and things and put them in different levels. It reminds me of that. If you can remember the name of that, let me know in the description. But quite unique for reptile enclosure. Looks like we've got some vines going along as well, but you can see the day geckos in there as well. Perching out under the UV, but looks a really nice enclosure, Tim. I think it's quite unique. It looks like you've got the expanding foam background as well. Looks like, I know you've got a sprayer on this, but I definitely recommend checking Tim's YouTube channel out. I think he's got another enclosure coming very soon, which he's going to send, but didn't want to do the sneak peek quite yet. And as always, try and support us small YouTubers like myself, and let's do what we can to support each other. So go and check out Tim's channel if you will. And I'll leave the details of the people who've included videos or images in this video down in the description as well. But really like that stunning geckos, Tim. Quite jealous. I was considering myself, but you know what it's like. If I buy them now, you'll tell me I'm copying you. But so potentially that might be something we look at in the future. I definitely love the dwarf geckos. We used to have them in the Cameroon dwarf geckos, and something I'm considering going forward. But I've got a lot of things on my mind at the moment. And we are thinking about the future as well, but more on that to come. But we really enjoyed that today, checking out your setups for once and not just focusing the video solely around me and my enclosures. Now, you know, this is a bit of a tricky time of people being in lockdown and stuck indoors, and I know personally sometimes you want to show off what you've done, and a lot of the time your friends don't care about your reptiles and fish. Especially the reptiles. I know us reptile people are probably considered the weirdest, and I know I haven't got any friends who are interested in the same things I am, so it's nice to have a space so we can share these things and have a little bit of a community. Now don't forget to go and chat to each other about your enclosures in the comment section below. It does help this video, but I think it's a great place for us to build a little community and chat about these things, especially if you're like me and nobody wants to listen to you talk about your reptiles and fish. So, as always, make sure that if you've got something you want to show off, whether it be a new fish, whether a reptile, enclosure, aquascape, anything that you want to discuss on this channel, then make sure you send it to johnsrainforestroom@gmail.com. Don't be afraid if you don't see the video come out for a while. Sometimes I wait until I've got enough to make a video similar like I've done today. But as always, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video today. I hope you've picked something up from it. I've definitely learned some lessons from your enclosures, which I might implement in the future. But I definitely recommend you hitting that subscribe button if you haven't already. There's plenty of things going on at the moment in terms of aquascaping, bioactive builds, updates, new animals, and all sorts. So make sure you don't miss out. As well, if you do me a massive favour, if you want to go and check out my merch, that does help really support the channel, and any sort of Amazon links that you use, a small commission comes back to me, which does help the channel and helps pay for these things, and all the money does go back into making this a better experience for you. So, I think that's enough for me waffling rubbish for today. So to say a massive thanks again for checking out the video. Thanks to those who sent enclosure updates or pictures in. I really appreciate it. And I'll catch you in the next video.